Hi guys, it's Matt Hancock's here and welcome to video 5 of your series on this 12-week body redesign program. I hope you're thoroughly enjoying the course so far. What we're going to talk about today is the importance of having good digestive health, and really this cannot be overstated how important that this system is. So we're going to have a quick review of micronutrients, which was our last video, and then get into the today's video, which is all about digestive health and elimination. So what we talked about in the last video, and hopefully what we summarised, is that every day the body needs vitamins and minerals, essential vitamins and minerals, to run the cells. So this kind of fills the voids that are there now in our daily nutritional program. Even if we're eating completely organic and as healthy as we can, we identified that with the mineral contents being depleted from soils and the fruit and veg being picked much too early, and being on the shelves for far too long, we're kind of missing out on the vital vitamins and minerals that we used to get only sort of 50 to 100 years ago. So it's essential that we kind of fill that void now and have a 100% organic multivitamin. We also discussed that the body needs essential fatty acids to coat the cell membranes in order for information to go in and out of the cell and toxins to be released. So we talked about the importance of coating it in essential omega-3, and also that with the high doses of omega-3 needed from our diet, that it's necessary that we supplement. So we supplement our oily fish, our avocados, our seeds and nuts with a decent omega-3 with high EPA value. And you want to be taking 4 to 6 as maintenance and 9 to 12 as weight loss, because remember, omega-3 is phenomenal for weight loss, as it turns on the fat burning gene, it turns off the fat storing gene, so it really helps with your weight loss progress. The third of the daily essentials that we highly recommend is an antioxidant. Now remember, the body needs a good antioxidant to minimise the harmful effects of free radical damage. So that's that oxidative damage inside the cell. So we want to protect the cell as best we can, and Zambroza is the most powerful antioxidant on the market. In fact, it's 3 times more potent than the next best available antioxidant on the market. So without a doubt, this one just complements the other two, and they're your daily essentials that you should be having. Now, alongside your daily essentials, you'll be working in this stage with your key system products. So this was from your lifestyle analysis. It brought, remember, our body, our system is just one big chain, and it's only as strong as its weakest link. So we identified if there are any weak links in your chain, and that's what we would need to correct through the right type of supplementation. So you'll have one key product with your daily essentials, and that's really, with the nutrition just carrying on as it was, that's really what this next stage is all about on your 12-week journey. Okay, so today we're going to talk about digestive health. Now, even if digestive health and intestinal health wasn't your key area that needed some work, it's important that you understand what the digestive and intestinal health is all about, and what to look for in maintaining good digestion. Because the diet, you've been on an elimination diet, you've been on a cleanse, so your digestion will have improved. But to keep it that way, there's certain things that you must be aware of for the future, and it's so important to optimal health that we're actually going to talk about that in its own right video right now. And remember, stage 2 is all about digestive health and functional medicine. So your functional medicine is your daily essentials, your key system products, and also really tailoring in that nutrition, honing on that nutrition, and making sure that we have fully functional digestive health. Okay, so that's what we're we're going to do now. So this is the key to health and successful weight loss, in my opinion. Okay, the importance of fixing gut pathology really cannot be overemphasized or overstated. If the body is not digesting, assimilating, absorbing the nutrients properly, and expelling of the nutrients, then expelling of the waste, I should say, sorry, then optimal health and weight loss simply cannot exist. So what we're going to do is we're going to break down the whole process and sort of go in with a microscope, really, and so you can have you have a full knowledge of what it is that you need to understand. This is such an important topic. You've actually got a manual specifically on digestive health. It's that important. So it's one of our 3 lifestyle manuals that you get along the course. You've already had your goal setting one. This is your next one, which is your digestive health one. So it's really key to the whole system. So the digestive system then, is the means by which the body transforms food into energy. Yeah, it needs to build, repair and fuel itself. And the digestive system breaks down food, extracting the nutrients, assimilating them for use throughout the body. Yeah, so remember we kind of going to use macronutrients is what we use for energy, the micronutrients what our cells use for function, and we have to get that out of our food. Now, common concerns include indigestion, heartburn, insufficient enzymes, acid reflux, stomach ulcers, stomach cramps, bloating. All this kind of stuff will show up if you have a poor digestive system, or if your digestive system is in ill health. So we're going to kind of look through a step-by-step process and just talk about how it works in general. So what we've got then is that it begins in the mouth. Remember, chewing is really, really important because the stomach doesn't have any teeth. So food needs to be ground into increasingly fine particles, and the more complete the digestive functions are. So food in the stomach is then further digested. Okay, so once the food passes through the esophagus into the stomach, it's then further digested using the body uses stomach acid and pepsin and enzymes to kind of digest the food further. Now this is situated at the top of the abdomen. Normally holds just over 3 pints, or about 1,500 millilitres of food from a single meal, and this food is mixed with acid, as I said, and which assists digestion, and these juices are ingested into the food to facilitate the breakdown of complex proteins, fats and carbs into small, more absorbable units. So from the stomach then, the food will then pass through the small intestine. Now, the small intestine is about 15 to 20 feet long, or 4.5 to 6 meters if you work in metric, and is where the majority of the absorption of the nutrients from the food takes place. So the duodenum is the first section of the small intestine, is where the food is kind of mixed with bile. The bile is produced from the liver and with other juices from the pancreas. This is where much of the iron and calcium from the food is also absorbed. Okay, so next, obviously the remainder of the food then goes into the large intestine. Excess fluid is absorbed and to form a stool, which is then passes through the colon and out through the other end. And that's basically the whole process of the food and going from your plate into your mouth and then out the other end, preferably 24 hours later. And we're going to talk about it all now through the microscope. So the digestive system is arguably the most important system to function correctly. So if you want to achieve optimal health, if your gut is not working properly, your results will simply be limited. Okay. There are many ways to abuse and weaken the digestive system. Overeating, constant snacking, and diluting digestive secretions with liquids can all place undue stress on digestive organs. So that's why we encourage you not to have, drink with your evening meal. If you have a glass of water before you eat, and then if you need to drink after you eat, then that's fine. But if you have it whilst you're eating, you will actually dilute the active enzyme, so it doesn't actually work to breaking down the food quite so well, and you can get indigestion and bloated after your food. Okay, eating too fast is a really common concern. People sort of having TV dinners, and it's why we ask you to kind of sit at your table, converse over dinner, put your knife and fork down between mouthfuls, and really take time over your food. And it's why it's just to keep the healthy, just little tricks really to keep a nice healthy digestive tract. Of course, the aim should always be to get your digestive system as healthy as possible, because the consequence will be that you just won't drop the body fat. Your body will find it very difficult. So we need to make sure that we kind of looking at it in some detail, and making sure that we're not having some of these common issues that are prevalent in today's society. So we're finding that a lot of people are coming to us with stomach ulcers, or wind or burping. You feel a bit sluggish, gallstones, and this is all obviously to do with poor digestive health. So more usually, too little acid in the stomach and insufficient digestive enzymes are the causes of bloating, discomfort, burping, wind. And so why is this? Why is food not being properly digested? Well, we can start off in the mouth actually, because what we should be doing is chewing our food at least 30 times, and this simply doesn't happen. I mean, I think in the UK, Britons are reported to chew in only about 6 times per mouthful before swallowing, and that's like 93% chewing less than the recommended 25-30 times per mouthful. So we should really start there and start chewing our food down, because it really doesn't help once it gets to the stomach. If it isn't already digested, the stomach has to work really hard to digest the food further. Okay, so that's really important. Now, there is an easy way to tell if you're having indigestion. Okay, basically, if you take a spoonful of something acidic like lemon juice or cider vinegar, if ingestion gets worse, then you know the problem is too much acid, so you have too much acid. If the indigestion improves, then you know you need a little more acid. And the acid is obviously in the stomach, and contrary to popular belief, our acid actually deteriorates or decreases over time. Basically, each person is born with limited potential for enzymes, and that's why maintaining an adequate supply of enzymes plays such an important role in supporting the health of the body. But in addition, as I said, people age, right? The amount of hydrochloric acid their bodies produce actually decreases. So the decrease starts between sort of 35 and 45, and by the age of 55, almost everyone at that age group has low levels of HCl, or hydrochloric acid, stomach acid, to break down the food. So if you add the fact that we're not chewing our food sufficiently, and then we don't have enough hydrochloric acid in our stomach, food simply isn't getting digested, and so therefore it doesn't get it gets passed down to the small intestine, but the small intestine just cannot assimilate the food from such big lumps of food, and it will cause all sorts of blockages and discomfort. Yeah. 70% of people over 40 and 90% of people over 50 are struggling with indigestion problems and do require some sort of digestive enzyme or stomach acid assistance. Yeah, so it's important that that we have a good look at this and making sure that, you know, if we're eating at the table, we're not eating too fast, we're not having TV dinners, we're chewing our food correctly, that, you know, problem that you therefore are more likely to need some help with the sufficient enzymes or hydrochloric acid. I think, you know, you need to ask yourself, you know, do you burp or belch a lot? Do you have gas immediately following a meal? Do you have offensive breath? Do you have difficult bowel movements? These sort of questions you need to kind of ask yourself, and they're actually in your manual anyway, so go through them. If you answer kind of yes to 5 or more, I would say that you would need some enzymes with hydrochloric. Well, you would need some hydrochloric acid, so you'd need the food enzyme with hydrochloric acid if that was the case. So go through that part of the manual and see how you get on. So your food enzymes, yeah, what they do is they guarantee digestion, so they assist your body with its digestion. It will reduce cravings. It does contain bile salts, and you'll definitely see an improved result as soon as you start taking them. It helps break down food, and really supports your digestive health like nothing else. So the food enzymes are really good. I do highly recommend them when you finish your cleanse and alongside your probiotics. They just work amazingly well. So I do highly recommend them. And, you know, you can, as well as the active enzyme, there is also a simple solution. You can add extra pineapple to your foods after you eat. These have natural enzymes in that help break down the food. It's actually the only time I would suggest that you take fruit after your dinner, because fruit obviously gets broken down much more quickly than other foods, and so if you take fruit after a meal, you will bloat up. So normally you would take fruit before your evening meal, but in this case pineapple does work quite well. But as I suggest, go through your manual. If you answer more than 5 as yes in the stomach and food enzyme section, then you definitely need to add that to your probiotic and your key supplement protocol right now. Okay, so the food enzyme you'll need, if you need the hydrochloric acid, just the normal enzyme if you don't need the hydrochloric acid, and then just take that alongside your probiotic that you're currently taking. The benefits are, it maintains a healthy gut, so this will prevent the constipation, serious bowel disorders. It does help control blood sugar, but it fundamentally it helps absorb and expel toxins, okay, and prevents reabsorption of toxins. So after all the hard work you've done over the last sort of 28 days, it's essential that you can kind of keep that going for sure. All right. So that's kind of your next step if this sounds like you. So moving on to the intestinal system and the small intestine. Now, as I said, the average length of the small intestine is around, for a male, is 22 feet or 6 inches, and in an adult female, 23 feet 4 inches. So it's approximately 2.5 to 3 centimeters in diameter. And obviously here you naturally produce enzymes, and they from the pancreas, and they are designed to help absorb the food, absorb the micronutrients from the food. Yeah, the large intestine then is where the food is eliminated, so it passes from the small to the large, and etc. So let's just think about the small intestine for a minute. So you might want to be thinking about things like, do you get indigestion or fullness that lasts 2 to 4 hours after eating? Do you experience pain, tenderness or soreness on the left side under your rib cage? Do you get bloated and uncomfortable after eating certain foods? So this will indicate that you might have an issue with your small intestine. Yeah. So again, go for your brochure on digestive health. There is a section on small intestine, and you just answer the questions there. And if you answer 3 or more, then that would indicate that you have a lack of pancreatic enzyme, which would cause you to have undigested food in your stools. If your stools are foul smelling, it's not been adequately broken down into the smallest components. If greasy, you're probably looking at a poor lipid or fat breakdown of absorption. So there's a few things to kind of look at there. So if that's the case, you definitely would need the enzyme that we talked about earlier. Common issues, let's say, could be irritable bowel syndrome, leaky gut syndrome, hemorrhoids, constipation, followed by diarrhea. So you might be constipated one day, have diarrhea the next day, never really have a stool that you would say was adequate. Okay. Irritable bowel syndrome is just an umbrella term, really. It's kind of that alternating diarrhea and constipation, wind, stomach pains, cramping, bloating. All that's associated when it's been kind of given the term irritable bowel syndrome. So really, it's just having lack of enzymes to break the food down. So you're not digesting and then food with enough HCl and enzymes to break the food down and assimilate the nutrients, and so it causes these kind of blockages and a bit of pain and discomfort. So the large intestine, okay, the large intestine, as we said, this is where the food, is passed through and then comes out the other end. Now this should happen between 14 and 22 hours. Okay, it will vary per person, and it kind of will vary on the food you're eating. That's why it's quite a broad spectrum, but it should definitely be passing through your system within 24 hours. So it is kind of the site where the food will remain for the longest. It goes through your stomach in about an hour or so. It goes through your small intestine after a few hours, and then it spends the rest of its time in your large intestine until it's eliminated as waste. So the primary role of the large intestine is to dehydrate what remains of the food you ate. Yeah, so removing as much water from it as possible before compacting it into a feces for elimination. Now, I understand this isn't a real sexy topic, but it's essential for your health and well-being. So I think you need to, again, go to the manual and answer the questions. There's about a list of 10 questions. Again, if you're answering kind of, 3 to 5 of those, it probably means that you need some help with fibre. Okay, so do you frequently have the feeling that your bowels don't empty completely? Do you get lower abdominal pain? Do you alternate between constipation and diarrhea? If this is the case, then it will definitely be lack of fibre. Okay, now typically a Western diet is low in fibre, and research shows that a low fibre diet is directly related to obesity and a variety of other ailments. Okay, including high incidence of colon cancer. So ideally we need approximately 30 grams of fibre each day, and the average diet contains 12 to 15 grams really. Remember, if the gut is in good working order, then everything is working well, and you're getting all the nutrients and everything that you need. Yeah. So if it's in good working order, you have that really good peristaltic action, which will then pass the food down the colon and out the other end successfully. If you don't, then it's just going to kind of sit there for days on end. And the only way to kind of think about it is if you have food that's in a bin bag. So you put some food in there that you haven't eaten, you put it in there now. If you leave it in that bin overnight, it starts to smell. Okay, imagine if you leave it there for a week. So imagine if you haven't been to the toilet for a week. Basically, all that fermentation that's taking place in the food is inside your gut. So this causes pain, it causes bad breath, you know, it really doesn't put you in a good state at all. So it's very, very important that we're kind of getting within that 24-hour time frame. So obviously we can increase our fibre with good sources of organic fruits and vegetables. Now, there are certain things you want to do, like, you know, making sure you have high fibrous foods, like raspberries are really high in fibre. Black beans are really high in fibre instead of rice. And also, it's important that you actually have, you know, fruit rather than fruit juice. For instance, a large orange, you know, you'll gain 3+ grams of fibre over a cup of orange juice. So it's really important that you get some really good sources of fibrous foods in your diet, which most of you will be doing already because you're following the program to the letter, I'm sure. But if you find that, you know, you're eating good amounts of fibre and it's still not enough, you're still not getting the 30 grams a day, because it is quite hard to achieve that, then, you know, you may just need a little bit of assistance. And TNT is like an orange juice drink, and this is jam-packed full of it's an orange cream flavoured drink. It provides 12 grams of fibre. Just one serving will provide 12 grams of fibre, 12 vitamins, 11 minerals, and loads of antioxidants. And all the fibre is from fruit and veg. So this is a fantastic product. It's just a drink. Take a drink a day, and you're kind of, you know, a third of the way there to your daily fibre needs. So I think that's really good. There's a couple of others that they do, like low clo and psyllium husks, which also have fibre in, but for me the drink is by far the best. So this kind of really helps. Bowel Build is another product that is particularly good for the whole digestive and intestinal system. So, you know, if you think that a probiotic, an enzyme, and fibre is just too much, you know, you could go down the route of having a Bowel Build, which kind of has a bit of everything in, and is kind of like is quite a good one-stop pill to take all that in. Personally, I would go down the route of making sure you are taking what you need for each particular issue that you might have. So if you don't have any issues with your digestive tract at all, then obviously don't take any. But, you know, it's just good to know that there are supplements there that will help with all the particular ailments that you might have, whether it be with lack of HCl for your stomach, lack of enzymes for your small intestine, or lack of fibre for your large intestine. You just need to kind of think about that, really. So the digestion, then, we're just going to go through the key points. So without an effective digestive system, it is difficult to process, assimilate and eliminate your food. This will make it extremely difficult to lose weight, and is number one what you should be taking out of this video, is that it's absolutely key, absolutely essential that you have a sufficient and healthy digestive system. To get your digestive system working effectively, you have to eat 30 grams of fibre, okay, and loads of sort of cultured and fermented food, which ensure your digestive enzymes are working effectively. Stress can play a really big role in the disruption of the digestive system, okay. Stress induces inflammation and plays havoc with the digestive system. So it's important that if you are under a lot of stress, either, you know, work or family life or whatever, that you make sure that you kind of take the necessary steps to lower your stress. It's also, you know, if you eat through emotion rather than hunger, that can cause problems with your digestive health. Not sitting down and relaxing over your food, but actually sitting down at your desk and continuing to work, that causes poor digestive health and more stress. So it's important that you're making a few lifestyle changes as well to improve your digestion. So to summarise then, you take food in, you start to break it down in your mouth. You have enzymes in your saliva which will help break down. You obviously chew your food at least 30 times before swallowing. We need that food. We need the digestive process to already begin before the food passes into the stomach, where you've got your acids. Your hydrochloric acid will then break down even more. Remember, these do slow down as we age. We've got practically nothing by the time we're 55. So anyone sort of at the age of 45, 50 who is having problems with digestion, then I strongly suggest the food enzyme with the HCl just as a supplement that you take just to help you digest your food properly. Okay, the food will then pass through to the small intestine where enzymes there break down the food. If you find that the food is still not getting broken down enough, then it's important to have sufficient food enzymes. So that will of course be that supplement. And then if you're finding that actually everything's really good, but then you just got the problem of not passing your food within 24 hours and it's kind of sitting there and you're getting uncomfortable, you're having trouble with your stool, so it's diarrhea, constipation, never quite on the money, then what you need to do is make sure that you get enough fibre. There are a few choices, but I strongly highly recommend the TNT. It's because it's an orange drink, and of course you're getting a third of your daily fibre needs just by one drink. It's just an easy way of doing the whole thing. So make sure, obviously guys, if there's nothing on your digestive system, then just continue as you are with your food. But just remember these 4 sort of steps to really healthy digestive tract, because if you do go off the ball a little bit with your nutrition along the line, then you know that these kind of things, if you haven't had any digestive problems before, these will show you that you perhaps need to get your nutrition back on track. If you get your nutrition back on track and you still have these issues, then it might be time to start supplementing. So don't just pass it off as you don't need it now. Just remember it and keep it in mind. You've obviously got the manual that's specifically on digestive health because of its importance. Just keep it in mind, and then if you need to address any of it, then obviously do so. So let's have a really healthy digestive system. Focus on remembering to take your daily essentials so you're keeping everything to optimum health. Keep that fat burning going, and then we'll meet up again next time. Okay guys, take care. Bye bye.